Hello everyone, and by the end of this video, you will be able to draw this gorgeous landscape. Let's get into it. To start, I am on a 2000 by 3000 pixel canvas, and all of the brushes on top of Procreate's already created brushes and colors that I will be using in this video are linked down below in the description. Let's go. To start, we're going to draw the first mountain, which is going to be darkest in color. So I'm going to be using this dark green down here. For brush, I am using Script, which is already provided by Procreate at 3% and at 100% opacity. All right, we're going to go ahead and go with a very wiggly line like so, up, and then we're going to go down. And just try to make it feel natural. I'm not going too crazy when it comes to curves and squiggles. And then I'm gonna add another one right here, like this. You wanna try to avoid having mountains that just go down at the edge of the canvas. Now you're gonna fill, and now you've got the first mountain shape done. Now we're gonna go ahead on the layer and add another layer and drag that layer under the first one. Time for the second mountain. I'm using this slightly lighter shade of green, which is right here in the corner. Same brush, same settings. All right, with this one, you want to avoid having the same mountains. You don't want to do the exact same thing like a shadow. You want to be as diverse as possible, and you want every mountain to look different. So this second one, I like to have this one be as simple as possible, so don't go up and down too much. So I'm just gonna do something like that. But we still want a little bit of shape. With this next layer, you want to make sure that it still goes from side to side from the canvas, because otherwise you will have leaks since you are on a separate layer. And we're going to fill that in. And now you have the second mountain. And again, you're going to go ahead and add another layer and drag it under layer 2. I'm going to be using this next shade. And this one we're going to make a little different again, but we're going to do more drastic changes in height. So I'm going to make it come from up here. The trick is to get that jagged line and let your hand just kind of, not really shake, but like make those lines by itself. And there we go. We have the third mountain. We're gonna go ahead and fill that in. And third mountain is done. We are almost done drawing mountains. We have 3 out of 6. Let's add the fourth one. We're gonna add another layer, drag it underneath layer 3. And for color, I'm gonna be using this color in the corner. I'm gonna start on this side this time because I find it easier to have that coming down from a higher angle. So like so. It's pretty straight, but again, I like having every other mountain be pretty simple. So let's fill that in. Gorgeous, now we have the fourth mountain. This is a great time to show you how you can refine your mountains if you need to. So for example, here this doesn't look very real, so we're just gonna fix it like so. And there we go. Time for mountain 5. This one is gonna be less simple, just not as drastic in height changes as mountain 3 and mountain 1, because the last mountain that we're gonna draw is what pulls it all together and what gives you that smooth transition between water and mountains that you want, because we're gonna have that water peek through behind these mountains, and in order to get that clean transition, you want the height changes to be much larger in the last mountain that we're gonna have. So for color, I'm using this shade right here. And let's just go ahead and like so. Now we're just gonna fill that in. And we have the fifth mountain. Mountain 6, again, is what pulls everything together. So you want this one to stand out, especially compare to the simple ones. So we're just gonna jump right in. So I'm gonna use this light color right here, and we're gonna go straight up. Now you also want big changes, so go down and then back up. Like so. And then I'm gonna have this mountain kind of like that, like so. This is probably the ideal shape for number 6. So this way you can have this line of water just peeking through behind those mountains. So we're just gonna go ahead and fill that in. Like so. And now our mountains are all done. Now that we finished drawing all of our mountains, it's time to merge all the layers. So you're gonna go over here to the layers and just pinch all of those layers together. I like to rename them when we have something like this. So I'm just gonna write mountains. It's not necessary, but I find it helpful sometimes just for organization. All right, now we're gonna add another layer, this time underneath still. So we're gonna go ahead and switch our color to this pink color right here. And we're gonna go to the layers, add a new layer, and drag it under the mountains. Now we're gonna draw a line and let it snap. And then I'm just gonna take my finger and tap it on the screen so it's perfectly straight. So this will be the water. And let's fill that in. And now we have this nice pink reflective color of like a sunset. We're gonna add rocks onto that. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to the color that we used for the 6th mountain. And we're gonna draw little rocks in the water. So like this. And just fill those in. They don't have to be perfect. Oops. This is a great example to show you for threshold. When you have something like this where it just spills all over, you're just gonna go ahead and slide your threshold a little bit, like so. If you want more tips like this, and if you've been struggling throughout this video, I have linked a video with 10 Procreate tips and tricks that I wish I knew as a beginner. And again, so you're just going to start by drawing a straight line and then build from that like so. And just fill that in like so. I like to add a few of those, and you want to make them, I accidentally undid that, and you want to make them a little longer as well, like so. As you can see, you don't want to do too many though, so I'm going to do one more small one over here, like that, and then one more over here. Great. There we go. Now we have that water finished. Now we're going to go to the layers, add a new layer, and drag it underneath the water. I will be using this light shade of pink right here. And we're going to go ahead and draw a line right about here. We want to make it closer to the top of the painting. And then obviously press your finger down again to make it straight, like so. Now we're going to fill it in, fill the bottom, like that. And then the next color I will be using is this light shade of green right here. And we're going to go ahead and fill the top in, like so. And then this is where the magic happens. You're going to click on this wand right here. And then Gaussian blur. Now you can slide it to the right. I like to do about 50%. And now you have this gorgeous sky. We're gonna go back into the layers, and I'm gonna rename this layer. I'm gonna change it to sky, like so. Now I'm gonna add a new layer, but this time we're gonna keep it where it is. And now we're gonna make the clouds. For that, I'm going to be using this shade right here, this one. And I'm actually going to switch to one of the brushes that I created. I'm going to use the smooth curve brush. I'm using this at 5%. And obviously 100% opacity. You're gonna go ahead and draw these long cloud shapes like so, and fill them in. I'm gonna do one down here, but I'm gonna do it backwards. Something like that. You can always refine it, like a little bit like that, like so, and then a little here, just to really make that look as good as possible. I'm gonna keep it at 2 clouds for now because we will be adding the moon. For this, I'm gonna be using this cream color right here. I'm gonna go ahead and have that be facing up a little bit. And I want it to be more of a circle like so. Now I'm gonna do the same thing, just a little smaller. I'm gonna edit that arc like so. That's perfect. Now just fill that in. You have yourself a moon. And the last step, again, not very necessary, rename. I'm gonna rename this to sky details. Like so. And you did it! You finally finished this gorgeous mountain landscape. Let me know if this was helpful and if you guys have any recommendations for the next few videos. Thank you for watching. See you next time.